condo searching on the Emerald Coast, which ones are going to be the best? What's the best for you? What's the best for me? Those are things that we look for as we're looking for condos. You've probably been doing the same thing, wondering what's best for me despite what you hear on the internet. But you've been through all the different internet sources and still haven't decided which one to go to. In this video, we are going to solve that problem to figure out which ones are best and for what reasons. If that's what you're after, stick around. We got more of that coming right at you. What's up, everybody? This is Tim Whittemore here with the Whittemore Group in the beautiful Destin-Fort Walton Beach area. That's right here on the Emerald Coast of Florida and Northwest Florida. If this is your first time to our channel, we do tons and tons of videos about everything you need to know about our area. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that little bell so you're notified every single time we got a new video coming out. Now, quite honestly, we get calls, texts, emails from people that want to move or invest in this area. It's never too early to contact us, okay? And we love hearing from you guys. So please reach out to us. We've helped so many people. We'd love to be able to help you. So give us a call, text would probably prefer, or email, shoot us a paper airplane, whatever you need to do, because we got your back when moving or investing here on the Emerald Coast of Florida. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's kind of talk about the top 3 areas here on the Emerald Coast. So I actually kind of want to give you 4. All right, so you got more than what you asked for, but yes, I'm going to give you 4 of the more major areas and why they are going to be the best condos in the area. Here are the 4 categories. We have solidarity, closest to the action, most affordable, and we have the most luxurious feel. Can you guess which ones are what? Okay, so let's go into it. First one that we're going to talk about is solidarity. It is Navarre Beach. So Navarre Beach is that area between Destin and Pensacola. So right there in the center, we have its own part, which is Navarre Beach. Now, this is not a very big built up area. There's really 2 or 3 restaurants on that island by itself. They've got Juana's and forget, it keeps changing names over there. It's got the longest pier in the Florida coast area, and it actually was one of the places that Jaws was filmed in the 70s. So if you're afraid of mechanical sharks, don't go here. But in any case, it has grown quite a bit there. But when we look out there, there's really not a whole lot. There's a lot of running trails and biking trails that go up and down the beach there. You have a preserve that's out there that they can't even build on. And you'll have only a handful of condos that are gonna be in this area. The one that's the most prominent is Bridgeport Colony. We've sold a couple that are in there, really beautiful places that are right there, that are close to the things that you want to be in. Navarre Beach specifically was voted one of the most relaxing beaches in the entire state of Florida. You can tell that by how relaxed and everything is going. So if you want some solidarity, you want to stay away from everything, and you want to have kind of a condo that's not built on top of each other, it's not condo city around you, and you really want to just absorb the beauty of the area, Navarre Beach is going to be the thing for you. Now let's talk about the cost of that. Do we want a condo there? So the median price for a condo, which is around $600,000. Now that's not just Gulf front, that's on the intercoastal waterway as well, so the bay side as well. Now that goes all the way up to 1.24 million, which is like a penthouse that's there sitting on the Gulf, but it could be as low as 255,000, which is one of those condos that's going to be more on the intercoastal waterway. It's really nice when you are in a lot of these ones that are the only couple of high rises that are out there. Bridgeport Colony, like I had mentioned before, is also one of those places where you get to go those different views, because they had like one of them where you go in your little breakfast nook, you can look out and see, you know, the bridge that goes into Navarre Beach and the intercoastal waterway and the work, and you can get up and walk across the room, and then you go to your large balcony, and sure enough, you can see the beautiful emerald colored waters and white sand beaches of Navarre Beach. So solidarity, that's the best place to go. Now, are you still gonna be sharing it with a bunch of friends? Sure, but you know, if you want your own solidarity, you're gonna have to get a single family home. All right, so the next category was the closest to the action. Can you guess this one? That's right, it is in Destin and Miramar Beach. That's where everybody goes. That's where the vacation is. That's that destination spot. What happens in Destin? Well, everything. Even us locals, when we want to get out and do things and be part of the action, we're going to go into Destin, into the Miramar Beach area, depending upon the experience that we're going to be going to. So all the key restaurants, not all of them, but a good portion of the really good restaurants are going to be in Destin. All the family fun activities, going out to Crab Island for the adult activities, the nightlife in Destin and a little bit into Miramar is where people will want to go to. There's a lot of big shopping and shopping centers. You have the outlet malls that are on Miramar Beach. But really, you just have to go down onto the scenic highway 98. It will bring you all down the beach side between Destin and into Miramar Beach. And even towards Miramar Beach, once you get towards those end of those condos, like by Aerial Dunes and places like that, that. You just drive by the public beach. There's nothing built on the beachfront. It's just absolutely gorgeous. You could tell why people really want to move to this area. I've lived over a decade in the area, and I can tell you it still has that same feeling every single time when I go up and over the Destin Bridge or go down that scenic highway. But yeah, that's where everything is. And that's where a lot of people, if you're going to be an investor, this is where people want to go. So you can charge one of the higher prices. So let's talk about cost. You want to move into the Destin-Miramar Beach area. The median cost to move or to get an investment in this area is $617,000. Now that's a high all the way up to 3.6 mil. Whew, okay, but you're gonna get what you pay for that. And that's a low of 160,000, which was a rehab when I looked at it. You can find them, but you're gonna have to put some work into it. Okay, so that's the closest to the action. Next that we're gonna go to is most affordable. And guess what this one is? This one is actually Fort Walton Beach in Okaloosa Island. So Okaloosa Island, a lot of people just consider it West Destin. There's a place called Destin West that's out there, funny enough. But there's a 6-mile beach that is just untouched and not built because it's owned by the US military. Can you still access it? Yes, as long as they're not doing exercises and things out there. Thank you for the person that did that comment. Thanks for the clarity. I brought it up in this video. But yes, this is one of the most affordable. The taxes are lower. You have it down. Santa Rosa Boulevard is where most of these condos are going to be. You do have access to restaurants. You have quick access to Destin as well. You know, it's a quick drive. You also have access to Fort Walton Beach downtown, which is being revitalized at the time of this video. So there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to be able to get access to from there for a cheaper price, which is actually really nice. Now, you can get a condo on the Intercoastal Waterway or on the bay, or you can get it over on the beachfront side. Good news is here, as long as it's considered a condo, you can do short-term rentals. I want to warn those people that are like, hey, I want a single family and rent it out. You can't do that on Okaloosa Island. There's an HOA that says that, hey, if you're a single family home, you can't. Can I get an attached unit? Yeah, that doesn't have an HOA? Sure. And you can still rent it out, but you can't do that for single family homes, just the way they wrote it. So this place is really nice. It's a little bit more serene and it's a bit more affordable. And it does back up to another gate into Hurlburt Fields access. And that means that you're only gonna get local traffic going up and down the area where most of the condos are. So it's actually really nice that it's not really terrible to get in and out of those places. So let's talk about the cost of this area. So the median price to be able to get into any condo on Okaloosa Island is around $495,000. Now that's a high all the way up to 1.7 mil, which is a nice little penthouse suite, and the low is $175,000. Now that was not on the Gulf. That was a place that needed a little bit of love. On the other side, I think it was a studio, but either way, you're able to get what you're looking for. Okay, now I gave you the bonus. What's the most luxurious feel? I think based upon what I've told you, you all can already guess. That's right, it is 30A. 30A, if you're not familiar, is the really big luxury area. It's the most expensive housing here on the Panhandle. It's luxury second homes. It's a very different area that most kind of been coming to. It's really been a great area for vacationers, great for investors. Now, there isn't a ton of condos out here in the different beach towns. A lot of what you're finding are single family homes that have been rented out, but they are there and they're smaller units. They're not high rises, and they all have to abide to the way, the feel, and the look of each of the towns that they're in. Now, 30A has many different places, from a sleepy beach town like Gulf Dunes all the way down to something like Alice Beach that's like somebody just picked up something from the Mediterranean and set it right down there. So the price ranges go anywhere from low as $315,000 to multi-million dollar properties, especially if you're looking for single families. In the 30A and Alice Beach could be upwards of 30 million. It's pretty incredible seeing the different parts in there. The nice part is, even me as a local here in the Fort Walton Destin area, like my family and I, we go out to 30A to staycation because of the experience and everything else that you have out there. And Seaside, if you're familiar with this, was actually where the Truman Show was filmed, you know, with Jim Carrey. So if you want to kind of see what that looks like, that's a good way to kind of take it in. It has a lot more luxury feel. This is something you're going to rent out or someplace that you want to live. You're going to find more affluent people being throughout there, a lot more clean, a little bit more polished, definitely more expensive. So let's talk about that. For the median price to find a condo in 30A is going to be 1.1 mil. That's the median. It goes as high, and here is 2024 is 8.5 mil, and as low as 315,000, as I mentioned before. All right, so those were the four main categories, but what else I want to do is I want to answer some of the questions that you guys have asked us, or at least the internet had asked us. People wanted to know more about the amenities, the HOA situation. Is it easier to move into a condo? Is it better for families? I'll answer that the best I can as a real estate agent. Is condo living advantageous advantageous to a certain demographic. Again, the best I can without violating any laws. Okay, so amenities. Here's a general rule that I typically can go by. The higher the HOA typically means that they're offering more. Now, that is not always the case. If you're in more of a luxury area, you're just paying for the luxury name and brand to it. But most of the time, by and large, if you're looking from one place to another, the higher HOA typically means more amenities. Like you'll look at Waterscape and they'll have a higher HOA. Why? Because there's like 6 pools. I don't know exactly how many there are, but there are a lot of pools and different amenities within there. It's Waterscape, you know, on Fort Walton Beach. You'll also see Destin-West will have a higher HOA as well, but it also encompasses 2 things. It has a lazy river on the other side and access to the bay and docks, and then it also has the beach side with an infinity pool and private access to the beach. So, I mean, it will really just depend on exactly what you're looking for. Typically, higher HOA means more amenities. A lot of people have asked about the HOA situation, mainly because they saw years ago that in Florida, some condos just collapsed in on itself because it wasn't being taken care of. So what is that? Like, do you always have to have an HOA? Well, yeah, yes, you do. If it is a condo, you're gonna have an HOA. Why? Because it pays for the structure, right? You as an owner own half the walls, half the ceiling, half the floor, whatever. But if it's an outside exterior part, the insurance for that entire building and the upkeep and things like that, that's what you're paying for with your HOA. Now, not all HOAs are created equal. I would check the restrictions for each building. Call us. We're happy to give you that information, whether you want to rent this out and stay in it sometime, right? With a lot of people that invest, they're like, hey, me and my family want to stay here for a little while. We're gonna rent it out the rest of the time to offset that cost. No problem at all. Let's make sure that we can use a short-term rental in there. Do we have to use a specific person? Can I manage it myself? Can I use Airbnb or VRBO? What are the whole restrictions? Again, talk to your real estate agent. Talk to us. We're happy to give you that information. Now, the next question was, is it easier to move into a condo? I'm gonna say yes and no. If you don't have a whole lot of items to move and maybe you're just like, don't have a lot of stuff, then yeah, it'd be super easy because a lot of the times you can move into these condos and they're already furnished for you and you're good to go and you just have to pack a couple of bags and boom, you're there. Yeah, super easy. I'm gonna say no if you have a bunch of stuff and you have to downsize, right? You have to sell it off or give it away or put it in storage. Sometimes that can be tough. So I would look at the whole picture if you're looking to actually move into a condo of how much space is actually available, because those owner closets are literally just a closet. And sometimes, depending where you go, maybe you go to, we'll say Bridgeport Colony in Navarre Beach, you're gonna have a much bigger space, but again, it's maybe like a walk-in shed size place that you can store stuff. So we'd definitely look into storage for certain units if this is a place that you're gonna be living. If you already are downsized really well, or you're using us as a short-term rental, not a big deal. But you should have your own private space in most condos known as owner closets. Next, is it better for families in condos? Now, condos are really good for families. From what I've heard, is mostly for vacationing. Great. It's a short-term place that you can go. Kids can be rambunctious, cleaners come in, you're good to go. But there are a lot of access to things on the ground. And you know, if you've got your family, you got one kid that wants to go play in the pool nonstop. You got the other one that just wants to go out to the beach. Like they all have their own different things. So a lot of the times with a lot of these things, there's always things for them to do all on the same grounds. So you don't have to go searching for them, right? So as far as a lot of people living in a condo, I would say that you're gonna have to find something that has multiple bedrooms and that you can deal with the square footage being in close quarters. So yeah, that's up to you. All right, is condo living advantageous for a certain demographic? As much as I can help out with that, really most people that go and move into condos that are long-term are usually people that are only here temporarily. We're talking maybe military guys, military contractors, could be just snowbirds, people that come down here for the winter for a few months until it gets nice weather from where they came from, and then they go back up there for the summer because it gets really hot in the summer. That's what we typically see for longer-term condo people, and if they are those longer-term in the condos, they're usually not those beachfront ones because it makes more sense, you as an investor, for you to short-term rent it, even if it's only for 5 months, to make the most amount of money that you're gonna do in the summertime than it does to long-term rent. So that's what we would typically go. Okay, well, those were all the questions that I had from you guys, and also with the top 3 areas, well, 4 areas for the best condos on the Emerald Coast are. If you have any questions or comments about what I had said here, please leave it in the comments below. If you're lucky enough to be on one of our audio channels, there'll be a number here to follow. Please feel free to text us or even give us a call and be happy to set up a time to chat with you or answer your questions that you have there. If you are looking to move here to the Emerald Coast or invest here in the Emerald Coast, you'd like to talk to me directly, or you would like to talk to any of our awesome partner agents on the team and set up a phone call, Zoom, whatever, we're happy to do so. Please just go ahead and give us a call, text, email, whatever you need to, and we will line that up for you. Other than that, I'm Tim Whittemore, Navarre here with the Whittemore Group, and we'll see you in our next video. Take care.